Arcadia FYI. I'm Christine Zito, your wonderful host. I am so pleased that you're here with me today. I have a great show. I'd like to start thanking our sponsors, Longo Toyota in El Monte. Have you been there? Okay, it's right off the 605 freeway. They're on this huge lot, this huge acreage, and they do more than just sell cars. So you have to go by and say hi to Michael, say hi to Brooke. They'll be, well, Brooke hiding underneath. She's downstairs, but Mike's always upstairs, so you can say hi to him. Star 7 Financial with Francine Chu. Not only does she help you with your finances, like retirements, she can help you with your children's education fund. The Santa Anita Park, which is just right over there, okay? They're doing horse racing right now, and of course, you know, you heard Pete in here. They're be part of the LA 2028 Olympics. I can't wait for that. I already bought my tickets. It's great. And the Le Méridien Hotel right here in Arcadia and Pasadena. Arcadia FYI, it could be 411, but Arcadia FYI is on location. We're at the Arboretum, the LA Arboretum right here in Arcadia. And this is Sylvia. So, hi, Sylvia. Hi, how are you?
Good to be with you.
This is so much fun. I have not seen the Arboretum the way I have seen it today, and we're going to see together the Arboretum. And if you're listening, we're going to explain this and try and vividly put it into your mind of what the Arboretum so you can follow with us. So as we're going, we're going to get to know Sylvia here a little bit. So Sylvia, so you've been, were you born here in California?
Yes, I'm a native. Yes.
You're native? And LA?
Glendale. I was born in Glendale.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so married, have kids, grandkids, dogs,
yes.
Pets?
Well, almost all of the above. I'm married, celebrating 40 years come Saturday.
Congratulations!
Thank you. And I have 2 grown kids. Our daughter is Sarah, and she just had our first grandchild, a baby girl. And our son is in New York. He's 27 years old. And
New York.
All
right. So congratulations on being a grandma.
Thank you.
So being a grandma, when she gets, is it a little girl?
A little girl.
And when she gets older, what do you want her to call you? Grammy, Grandma? I mean, or...
I want her to figure that out. You know, sometimes little ones, they can't pronounce things and they come up with quirky nicknames, and I'm just waiting to see what she comes up with. I'll be delighted, whatever it is.
I know. If I could say being a great aunt, I don't have any kids, but, you know, I don't need the title. I know I'm great. But my nieces and nephews, they call me Auntie Stina, Auntie Teen, Auntie Titi. And you know what? I don't care what they call me.
My son-in-law is opting for Grandma Sill. So we'll see, maybe.
Grandma Sill, I like that.
We'll see.
I said, all right, take us on the tour, Sylvia.
All right.
Share with us what the Arboretum is all about.
Well, we're happy to have you here today. So a little bit about the Arboretum and our history and founding. We were established in 1947. And the foundation, which is the nonprofit partner that co-manages the Arboretum with LA County through the Department of Parks and Recreation. The foundation was founded just a year later in 1948. And today the foundation, in co-leading the Arboretum, really is on the philanthropic side. We raise money for so many things. The county, a terrific partner, but it takes so much. We are, in addition to a garden and museum of living plants, we are a museum of history. And we have our 4 historic landmark buildings. Here on the left here is our coach barn. On the way down, we'll take you by the Queen Anne Cottage and our adobe as well. But it takes a lot. So we raise money for projects like our new entrance, some of our new gardens, all of our education programming, and care of these landmark buildings. This plant here is a Rose of Sharon, which is related to the hibiscus, and you can see how beautiful those are. They're really looking good this time of year. And on our right is our herb garden. And the herb garden was designed by Edward Huntsman Trout, landscape architect, and he also did our rose garden. But we're going to head up to the high country on Tallock Knoll.
High country. So boy, it sounds like really.
Yes, we have 127 acres, over 10,000 species of plants.
Wait a minute. 100 and what?
127 acres.
Of Arboretum?
Yes, of Arboretum.
See, I didn't know that.
And this area where we're going to, the high country, this was all staked out for housing. and it was really just saved in time. The land was purchased from Harry Chandler. That's part of our bamboo collection.
I love that. This has always been, if I have to say, my favorite part of the Arboretum is the bamboo.
A lot of the kids love it too. It's a great place to explore.
All right, can I confess and say I would go inside there and play inside the bamboo?
Yes, there's a lot. The whole Arboretum is a playground. It's a whole place of learning. So all of this high country here was staked out for housing when it was purchased and saved from Harry Chandler, who was a prominent real estate developer at the time. And that became today's Arboretum. But if that had not happened under Samuel Ayres, who's considered one of our founding fathers, it would all be housing today. So up on Tallock Knoll, you heard about some of our pollinator conservation work with John at Crescent Farm. In addition to bees, though, the Arboretum is a certified monarch way station, which means that we have all of the host, nectar, and shelter plants that will sustain a monarch through its life cycle.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, that's why when you see when you walk around the Arboretum today, you see a lot of butterflies, and that's all driven by habitat.
Okay, when you say monarch,
yes.
Now you're not talking about. Explain the monarch.
The monarch butterfly, which is the orange with the black dots. It's a type of butterfly.
Okay. I'm thinking of like government. I'm going to run.
No monarchies here. But on the right here, now we're talking a little bit about our plant conservation programs. This is an example of an Engelmann oak. This was a tree native to Southern California and Baja, but it is now endangered. So back in the World War II housing boom, there were groves of Engelmanns that were just clear cut. And so today the Arboretum has the largest living stand of Engelmann oaks in LA County. And so as part of our conservation work, our curator of living collections has been propagating the next generation of Engelmanns in this grove, because in order to sustain a population, you need to have age diversity. So he's been experimenting with some native grasses also to create an understory in these sunny spots. But some of these Engelmanns, this started a number of years ago, have now gotten their first pruning. So they're finally getting big enough. But every year we lose some Engelmanns, so it's good to keep that population going. These trees are known for their very twisty branch architecture, which when you look at the trees, you can see that. And right in front of us is Crescent Farm. And it's called Crescent Farm because if you looked at it from up above, it's crescent shape. It's about harvesting water. And this garden was founded in 2014 at the height of the drought, when people were pulling out grass and putting in rocks and cacti. And our horticulture team was saying, you can have a beautiful garden, even a food-producing garden, and conserve water if you use regenerative gardening techniques, which is what we teach here at Crescent Farm. And all of those workshops are free of charge to the public, and we encourage people to learn. They even have some online classes so people who are farther away can participate. So let's pull over and go find John.
Okay, we're here at the Crescent Gardens. Is that
Crescent
right?
Farm officially is the actual branding name, Crescent Farm. A lot of people just call it the Crescent. You'll hear that.
The Crescent.
The
Okay.
Crescent.
This is beautiful, and you're probably wondering who I'm talking to. This most handsome man right here.
Thanks,
I mean,
Christy.
I love the hat. He does look like a farmer.
Right? Yeah, it's a look.
Yeah, John. Okay, now your name is John. Okay, you have to say your last name.
Sure, let's go. John, let's go. Yes.
Okay. So Sylvia's talked highly of you. Okay, is it all
Thank
true?
you.
Is it all true?
Thank you. I told you, you'll learn more later. It's that and more.
Okay. So now she was trying to educate me on everything that this Crescent, the Crescent, does. So now, in your words and in what you do, explain to us what Crescent is all about.
For sure. So the project was actually imagined in around 2013, and it began as a change up to a flat lawn this acre was an entirely flat lawn. The soil was poor. It was a mix actually of weeds and a lot of other no-nos that we know better now. So in this incredibly inspired vision, this acre was transformed primarily and initially to show the visitors and the members what they can do to save resources, namely, first and foremost, water. So that was the game plan initially up front. And I can talk about what that looked like and the remnants of that first vision. Okay. But since there, in the 11 and a half years that I've been attached to this project, we've made it become so much more. And it's now the most biodiverse acre in the 127.
Now, what do you mean by biodiverse? Diverse.
Right, because we have the most variety densely planted in this acre of any other similar acre in the Arboretum. And we've done that on purpose as we've learned the benefits of bringing a wide variety of native plants to our landscape. They do two things. Okay. The native plants require less resources because they're adapted to being in these arid circumstances. So that's a plus for any native garden. The second thing is you're attracting all of the pollinators, all the associated critters that are brought in specifically because they have very symbiotic, specific relationships with our native plants. Okay. So we have, go ahead.
No, I was going to say first, name few of the native plants that you have planted here.
Oh, we have lots. We have about 5 different sages, so those are Sylvia. And then there's different species. We have Arctostaphylos, we have Frangula, coffeeberry, the manzanita, we have many different kinds of ceanothus. We have ground cover shrubs like the buckwheats that we have. We have 4 different kinds of buckwheats, that's Eriogonum, including the Channel Island variety there that looks like baby's breath, and it's just adorned with all the flowers. So there are wildflowers in the wildflower season. Behind us, there's even still some remnant poppies blooming. So we have wildflower array, shrubs, sub-shrubs, small trees, and large trees.
Am I allowed to pick the flower?
Sure. You
can. No.
Well, only with my permission. You didn't hear that. So yeah, we have 2 desert willows that are a native tree also, and I can extol on the virtues of planting a native tree because it's an instant available volume of food resources for all the pollinators and the native critters.
Who are the pollinators?
Great question. So when we say bees, normally people think of maybe a bumblebee, but they're usually in their mind's eye, they're seeing a honeybee. The honeybees are actually an invasive species that were brought over as an agricultural product with Europeans that ended up by inhabiting North America. So they brought the honeybee. Since then, the honeybee is naturalized, and in a lot of parts of planet Earth they have as well. However, that bee is actually native to its circumstances in Europe. So when we understand that if we look down, dig down, you see it's going to go.
Yeah, look at that. He's going to go, he just ate we just saw a lizard eat a bee.
It was a fence lizard. So that said, on the bee note, which reptiles love to eat bees, in California, we have hundreds and hundreds of varieties of native bees. So once you start understanding that, it's a rabbit hole to go deep into, and it's just fascinating. So all shapes and sizes, different colors, and like 95% of those species of native bees are solitary. They require no hive, and they don't live in a group. They live solitarily, usually in the ground, or in cavities, preformed sometimes inside of tree remnants.
Yeah, well, we just saw a lizard eat a lone little bee.
Right. And you can see that a lot of our landscape inside of the Crescent, this acre, is lined with all of this wood debris. Essentially, up front, we used it as a soft barrier to keep people out of our juvenile plantings at the time. But then over time, and that's really the richness of this experience, we've learned so much just being observationally attached to this acre. We learned that the busyness of wildlife activity happening in these wooden edges, and we learned about the native bees that are probably nesting, have nurseries in that wood. You just saw the reptiles pop out there. There's an array of arachnids and the spiders. I've seen a wren actually dance in and out of the spaces.
What's a wren?
A wren is a very small bird, and they're insectivores. So it was hunting for spiders to nab. And it was busy and healthy and happy because we had all of this debris available for its experience. Native bees, once you establish the right plants, and you see native bees come to those plants because they have symbiotic relationship with the flowers, they usually set up shop, nursery, family, in the vicinity. So once you've created a native garden and see a variety of pollinators start to come into your garden, you've established a healthy resource.
And what does that do for the environment, for the cultural environment?
That's a great question. First of all, potentially in a big, broad way, we could be saving pollinator species. Just because we're losing, native bee species are disappearing before we have a chance to catch up and document where they are, what they need, right, and which territory. So people are scrambling to accumulate as much research on that as possible, right, ahead of projects that would demolish their resources and their home sites. So each person, and this is something, the takeaway is each person can put their tiny investment, like a native plant garden, to establish as much of a chain of resources available to those native bee species. If enough of us devote at least a portion of our landscape that we are in charge of, that we steward at home in our gardens and our yards, if we put in at least a patch of that, we will be helping survive species of pollinators. Sometimes before we even know that they're on their way out.
This is fascinating. And you can come here and get educated on what you
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a cute little visitor. One thing special about the Arboretum, though, is every time you come, there is something different to see. So we have trees that are summer blooming, fall blooming, winter. We're known for our aloe trail that peaks from January to March. Our fall color is now incredible here. They say we don't have fall color in California. We have fall color.
This is beautiful. This is more like being in fall every season of the year.
Yeah. And that's one of the nice things, like for our members, and it's a different experience every time you come, which really makes it special.
Okay, so talk about the history. I know the Baldwins come into this history a little bit, so talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, Baldwin purchased the 8,000 acre Santa Anita Rancho in 1870, and it was 8,000 acres. And at the time, it was the princely sum of $200,000. But imagine owning all of Arcadia, Sierra Madre, and Monrovia for $200,000.
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
Yeah. He ultimately amassed 40,000 contiguous acres, though, and was really a wealthy landowner. He was Arcadia's first mayor. He is considered by many the father of thoroughbred racing in Southern California. So not only did he grow prize-winning wines and ports and citrus groves here at the rancho, he also had training tracks and bred thoroughbreds. Had 5 American Derby winners.
You know, I know you're not the Santa Anita Park, but didn't he buy the Santa Anita Park? Isn't he like the founder of the Santa Anita Park?
Well, Baldwin died actually in our adobe in 1909, and his daughter Anita inherited the property, and she was the one who sold the land that became Santa Anita today. And if you're a racing fan, you know there is still a Baldwin Stakes, and that's in honor of Baldwin. And Baldwin Avenue, Baldwin Park, there's a lot of references to Baldwin today.
Yeah, and you know what? If you ever do the 5K run with the Santa Anita Park, one of the great things is that the 5K run, it does like a mile and a half in the Arboretum.
Right.
It's beautiful.
It's a great way to see it.
Oh, I can see the falls and everything.
Now this plant here is called a bird of paradise shrub, this bright orange, or bright yellow with the orange ornamentals. It's really lovely this time of year.
Everything's
So
lovely.
this is the high point at the Arboretum. We're about 600 feet above the base of our waterfall. So this is where we grow our tropical plants. And you know how warm air rises and cool air descends?
Yes.
So the tropical plants love that. But the other reason this makes it ideal is we have a very mature tree canopy up here, and that acts to insulate. And so our plumeria grove is up here. This grove, which we'll drive through, this grove is actually the largest collection of plumeria in a public garden in the western United States. So it really is one of our signature collections. We also have up here some hibiscus. There's some beautiful varieties with different petal formation and colors. And some of these trees here are where we see many of our big birds nesting, our raptors in the springtime.
Ooh, raptors.
Yep.
Okay, wait a minute. Is there going to be a dinosaur coming out here soon?
No. But Jurassic World was filmed here.
Oh,
So,
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Talk about some of the famous movies that were filmed here. So,
Yeah, well, way back, even the Tarzan franchise, 12 different Tarzan films were filmed here at the Arboretum. And
I think I hear him.
Yeah? You can hear birds?
I can hear Tarzan.
Oh, good. And as far as 1937, as far back, before it was the Arboretum, it was just open space. But Johnny Weissmuller actually shot here. He was the first Tarzan. This beautiful tree in front of us, this giant tree, is called a sycamore fig. That tree was planted from a 5-gallon container when the Arboretum was opened. And look at it today.
A 5-gallon container like I can put in my house?
Yes, like you could pick up yourself at the nursery. Look at it now.
That's a huge tree.
It is.
Look at this. We're if you're watching on YouTube, you could see that we are just traveling the Arboretum. It is a huge campus. I just did not know.
We have up here some beautiful aquatic pools that give the illusion of the source of water for our waterfall. And the tree on the right here is called an African tulip tree. And you can see the flowers have like a crepe paper texture. We're looking at the really pretty yellow one, but beyond that, you can see the bright, fiery orange.
You know what, Sylvia, how often do you walk and get to enjoy the Arboretum?
I try to walk almost every day if I can. It really, because it's constantly changing and it's a dynamic garden, it's always great to see what's new in the garden. And that's why so many of our members choose to come. And members, of course, get early access. They're in at 7:30 in the morning, which is nice on a summer day. We open to the public at 9. So that's one of the many member benefits. But what strikes me about this vista is when you look out toward the mountains, you're looking across Arcadia into Sierra Madre, and for the most part all you see are treetops, and that just speaks to, you know, our region and how we value trees and how they contribute to people's lives.
How many people visit the park a day that you know? I know it's summer right now, but
Well, it's about 547,000 a year. So divide that and you can figure out the math. We're obviously heavier on the weekends, and some of our event days are quite large. We expect 6,000 over our 2-day Plumeria Festival as an example.
6,000? How do you fit that many? Well, wait a minute, you have 127 acres.
And we're open till 7 o'clock. So we have, that's across the whole day. There are a couple of new African tulip trees that just went in this year. But we're going to go off-road a little bit now.
Okay, all right. Talk a little bit, as we go off-road, talk a little bit about the membership.
Family membership is the most popular level, and it's $99 a year, and that's for 2 adults and children under 18. But the great thing, for that, you get to come all year, as much as you want, and there's so many free programs for our members that are free with admission. So as a member, you don't pay admission. So our Arboretum Summer Nights picnic concerts, all free. Our Twilight on the Terrace events, which are music, all free. And then you get discounts on so many programs and classes. So if you come just a couple of times a year, you've really paid for it. And it's just, you're supporting the mission and our collections, which we greatly appreciate, but it's also a great value for families. Talking about photo shoots, you would be amazed how many quinceañera photo shoots. You see princesses every day here at the Arboretum, especially in the springtime, doing their quinceañera photos. But our rose garden here is really stunning and is often a great location for weddings. You'll see the bearded irises, the lavender, the white ones intermixed with our roses. Now, this is Victorian in design, and Victorian design is all about symmetry. So when you look at the arbors, you'll note that both end arbors mirror each other, and the arbors across mirror each other as well. And of course, they chose a Victorian design to complement the coach barn and the Queen Anne cottage, which are very close by. All right, now we're going to go into the area that's called the historic core of the Arboretum. So this was really the heart of the Arboretum. We have the 4 historic buildings. The coach barn was built in 1879, and it was designed to be the where the carriages and horses for Baldwin's guests would stay. This was built during Baldwin's time on the rancho, and it is a stick-style architecture and complements the Queen Anne cottage, which was built in 1885 and 1886. So here you see the cottage, and you'll get a good peek at our lake pre-restoration if you look to your right. And you can see why we are so excited to have this lake restored. And our wildlife will be grateful too, and as will all of our visitors. So that is starting the construction load-in this month. So the Queen Anne cottage was designed to be Baldwin's kind of guest house and party house. And we've recently done well north of $1 million of restoration work there. All of the stained glass now has a new protective Lexan, which is a polycarbonate product, but it allows guests to really see the artistry behind the stained glass windows. At one point, they called the cottage the casino. You're looking at the marble tiles. And this area here was designed to be an outdoor dance floor. And where you see the veranda bump out, that's where the quartet would be. And they built in a mirror here so that when the ladies twirled, they could see themselves. And here you can see when Baldwin built this, this portrait is of Jenny Dexter, who was Baldwin's third wife and the mother of Anita Baldwin. And Jenny passed away of tuberculosis at age 28. And then after that, Baldwin married one more time. His fourth wife was Lily Bennett, the daughter of architect Albert Austin Bennett, who designed both the Coach Barn and the Queen Anne Cottage. That marriage didn't last, and she moved back to San Francisco, and that's when Baldwin turned the cottage into really an homage to Jenny, who everyone says was the real love of his life. Okay, right across from the Queen Anne Cottage, as part of the lake restoration, we're going to have a viewing deck with benches that will look right out onto the lake with the Queen Anne Cottage as a backdrop. And it's going to be great for wildlife viewing. And then where you see these upright boulders here at the shoreline, those were, that's a historic feature that Baldwin put in. And much of the lake perimeter will have that feature restored. And we'll be removing about 100 trees. The ones that you see that have compromised the shoreline, they've come up from seed, and they're what you call volunteer trees, and so they will have to be removed. But as part of our post-construction landscaping, there will be 300 new trees added in the proper location. Okay, the ducks are still in it. So this is, most people say, is that algae? No, it's not algae. It's an aquatic plant called duckweed. And the ducks do eat it. We just either have too much duckweed or not enough ducks.
Thank you so much for being so generous and showing us, you know, the Arboretum and again, the education and the new construction of that beautiful duckweed
lake. Lake bed, yes.
Sylvia, once again, thank you so much for this tour. And this is going to be probably just part one because we did a lot more touring of the Arboretum. I would like to thank our sponsors for making this all happen for me. Longo Toyota. You can go there. They're right off the 605 freeway. They do more than just sell cars. Star 7 Financial with Francine Chu helping you with your finances. Not only can she help you with your retirement, she can help you with your kids' education. The Santa Anita Park, the races are going on right now. Pete will be back on to talk more about the LA Olympics in 2028 and the Le Meridien Hotel right here in Arcadia and Pasadena. All right, until next time on Arcadia FYI, be blessed and make it a great day.